Hey everyone, it's Dr. Arlene Diamco, the Multidimensional MD. Thank you for joining me again this week. And today I'm going to be talking about understanding food cravings and addictions because every week I sit down in meditation and I just consider what do I talk about this week? What will be helpful for people? So I thought I would continue the conversation that we've had before on metabolism and blood sugar regulation and weight loss. Those are from episodes 151 and 141. And so, as always, my mission is to help bring the intuitive aspects of health back to medicine in practical and tangible ways so that you can access deeper healing and more peace, love, and joy in your everyday lives. So, we're going to look at this from first going through what are the signs of food addiction, and then what makes food addictive. How can you rebalance your appetite and weight regulation? And then we'll look at it from a bigger perspective too, the energetics in terms of how your body is a home for this human life. So, first, in terms of the signs of food addiction. This is a spectrum, okay? So you may not be fully like dependent or addictive to certain foods, but maybe you have some mild cravings and you want to learn how to understand those. So if you consider the signs of food addiction, if you have any of these, then food is somehow controlling your life in a way. And so you want to feel more empowered and be able to make decisions about your health and not have something outside of you, external from you, be running your life. So this is a part of conscious living. So signs of food addiction include overeating past the point of fullness. So there we have signs of a body-mind disconnect. And we'll talk a bit more about this further on this podcast. And perhaps you feel guilty about eating. Maybe you are hiding eating certain foods and not wanting to tell people that you've eaten certain things. Maybe you have repeat behavior of doing this over and over. And for some reason, it's hard to change despite harm, which includes physical harm. So maybe your health is affected by your eating, mental, emotional issues. So we know that unhealthy eating contributes to anxiety, depression, interferes with our ability to think. It can contribute to brain fog. So why is it that we continue to eat foods that are harmful for us? So what makes food addictive? So they have been looking at this in the research. And of course, the food industry knows so much about this, but some hallmarks of addictive properties, addictive substances, are they all create some kind of sudden dopamine peak. Dopamine is this feel-good neurotransmitter in the brain that is part of our reward system. So in addictive foods, there is a high dose and a rapid absorption of the substance of the food that causes these sudden dopamine peak. And there's more to it than that. There's other things that affect, but especially addictive foods include high sugar, high fat, especially when it's combined with sugar or other highly processed carb. That's why paleo and ketogenic diets tend to help with the weight loss, and high salt. So high sugar, high fat, high salt. So you can think about addictive foods, whether it's like munching on chips or chocolate or cheese, anything, ice cream, whatever it is that you find is addictive. And what they found in the studies is that fructose is much worse than glucose. So we need glucose for energy for the brain. And our bodies will actually produce glucose if we don't have it. Our brain needs the glucose to survive. We don't need fructose in the same way. There are no biochemical reactions that require dietary fructose to absolutely function. So if we break down sugar or table sugar, which is sucrose, it's about half glucose and half fructose. And high fructose corn syrup is a little bit higher than that. It's about 55% fructose. So I want to read you this quote from this study, which is really interesting. It is from this study from nutrients, ultra-processed food, addictive, toxic, and ready for regulation. So this is really fascinating. Physiologically, chronic fructose administration promotes fasting hyperinsulinemia, so increases your insulin levels, and triglyceridemia, which blocks leptin's ability to cross the blood-brain barrier. So leptin is the hormone that is produced by fat cells that tells us that we are full. Okay, so fructose is blocking the leptin's ability to tell us, to give our brains a signal that we are full, you can stop eating. And so, to continue this quote, and it attenuates leptin's ability to extinguish mesolimbic dopamine signaling in rodents and humans, thus promoting tolerance and withdrawal. So you need more to get the same result. Furthermore, fructose does not suppress the stomach-derived hunger hormone ghrelin. Through these pathways, fructose fosters overconsumption independent of energy need. A comparison of the two monosaccharides demonstrates increased risk of binging with fructose, similar to sucrose, as opposed to glucose, suggesting that the fructose molecule is a moiety that generates both reward and addiction responses. So this is huge, and the food industry knows this, so that's why they add table sugar, which has half fructose, or high fructose corn syrup to foods, because they want you to go back to it over and over and over again. So if you're wondering, why don't I have the willpower to stop? Well, your biochemistry has taken over, and that's why. But if you start to understand it, then you can be empowered and start to regain control over your eating, your weight, your appetite. So they've also done brain scans showing how fructose in particular is unique in activating the reward pathway. So that's dopamine that I mentioned before is part of that reward pathway. But that is so interesting that it's activating that. It also, these food addictive substances, they're really like food additives because they're not in their whole food form. They also activate the opiate receptors, again, with this feel good, releases dopamine, has that feel good response. So if you block those receptors or you take away the addictive food, they have found in both human and animal studies that will lead to withdrawal symptoms, including anxiety symptoms, and the animals that they studied, the animals were chattering their teeth and aggressive when they took away the sugar. So just remember that next time that you are feeling kind of hangry, or you're just like in a bad mood, or just more irritable than you would like to be. We've all been there. It's okay. There is no judgment. But if you understand the biochemistry and how it works, then maybe you'll be more motivated, and maybe you can make some changes to that. So just small steps to make changes. So again, food additives or food addiction, these are highly processed food substances that are no longer in their natural form. So this is very different than if you say had an orange, a whole orange, and you ate it with the fiber, with all its nutrients and vitamins, so you get that from that, and the fiber actually contributes to feeling full. Then you go to, say, orange juice. So you're still getting some vitamin C and some good nutrients. So I don't like to think of things as necessarily all good or all bad. However, orange juice will have a spike in your blood sugar. So they have found that foods that contribute to a high glycemic load, meaning it spikes your blood sugar, are more addictive. And they could predict this based on the glycemic load of the foods. So now you take orange juice, it does have that high, that high glycemic load, increases the blood sugar, but at least it has some nutrients in there. And if taken in small quantities, could be okay. Then you move on to orange soda, which now you're getting very little nutrients, if any at all, because you have very little orange juice in that. And then you have added sugar or added high fructose corn syrup. And so now you're getting a really high glycemic load, and you're activating also more of those reward or addictive pathways. And for both the orange juice and the orange soda, you're not feeling full. So you see it's sort of a spectrum. Things are not all good or all bad. Now, if you ate only fruit, you could get more of a sugar load. So again, not all good or all bad. We want to look at ratios of things. And if you're always reaching for the soda with the sugar, then you're going to contribute to this food addiction. So now that is not, these are things, or there are things that you can do about this, right? Um, it's one thing is to pay attention to your gut flora, because when the gut flora is altered because of all the sugar and the processed carbs that you're taking in, then that the less friendly gut flora will be telling your body, like the yeast and everything, will tell your body to feed it more. Feed me. I want more sugar. I want more carbs. So you can start to alter your gut flora. And we talked about this in episode 151 of ways to supplements that you could use to address your blood sugar balance. So bitter foods or bitters, or taking some probiotic, or eating some probiotic foods like vegan yogurt, apple cider vinegar, can help to rebalance your gut flora so that you can have more normal signaling to your brain, and your gut brain and your cranial brain can work together. So other things that you can do that maybe you didn't even know contributed to this hormonal balance for appetite and weight regulation includes getting enough sleep. So studies have found that sleep deprivation can contribute to higher levels of ghrelin, which is the hormone that tells you to eat more, and it can lower leptin, which tells you to not, that you're full, that you don't need to eat as much. So other things that contribute to that balance of the hormonal levels, including reducing the stress. So this is along the lines of sleep, because you need sleep and rest. Rest doesn't have to necessarily be sleeping. Rest to me is relaxation time. So reducing stress or increasing relaxation time. And that depends on your constitution. What do you need to relax? So some people are a bit more sensitive and overstimulated by the world. And if that's you, then you need some quiet time built into your day. So you need to prioritize that somehow. And it doesn't have to be a long time. It can just be a pause for 5, 10, 15 minutes where you are in a space where you feel safe and supported, and where you can relax and not have to be thinking about your to-do list. You can also increase exercise, even just a little bit. If you don't move a lot, then moving for just starting 10, 15, 20 minutes a day, you will see a difference. So small steps done consistently can create miraculous results. So increasing exercise increases your muscles and decreases the fat, and improves leptin signaling, because remember, the fat cells are the ones that produce leptin, which is a hormone that tells you you're full. So if you have more fat cells, then you're also increasing the amount of leptin in your body. But what's interesting is that you're also start to have like leptin resistance. So you're not even listening, your brain is not listening to those full signals. It's the same way that you can think of insulin resistance. Your body is no longer listening to it. So that's that mind-body disconnect. You can also look at the ratio of foods in your diet. Lean more towards an alkaline diet. You want to get more good fats, including olive oil, chia seeds, wild salmon, almonds, because a lot of times in these highly processed foods or addictive foods, the fats are not going to be the good kind of fats. You want more omega-3s than omega-6s in your diet. So, and there's like certain ratios of different kinds of fats, but olive oil, avocado, chia seeds, wild salmon, almonds all have good kinds of fats. And then looking more at the alkaline diet. That's in episode 91 that I reviewed in more detail. But watch the ratio of foods. It's about getting some protein with your meals, but not too much, and then getting more leafy greens and berries and nutrients. So when we look at the energetics of this, well, first consider your body is your home. It is your only home for this human life. It is a sacred place for you to be because it is a home for your soul while you're a human being. So when your body is no longer following its own signals, there is an energetic imbalance. Body, mind, and spirit are no longer aligned. So if you find that your body is doing this, it's not meant to create more worry. It's a message from your body to listen to what it needs. So you can look at those cravings of the sugar, of the fat, of the salt, as maybe if you need salt, maybe you need more minerals. Or maybe like in chocolate, it does have some antioxidants and minerals. Maybe you need more magnesium. The chocolate also has caffeine and fat in it. So maybe you need more good fats. Maybe you need more energy. You need to rest more. Um, if you're looking at the like carbohydrates and just needing that kind of energy, just consider like how else can you get energy in your life? What can you eat that is more nourishing to your body? How can you get more nutrient dense foods? Sometimes if you feel like that crunch is contributing to it, then consider like what do you need to release tension in your body? So there's so many ways to look at it. It's like looking at the flip side. I know we talked about the addictive qualities, but then look on the other side to help balance it. It's like, what are you missing that you need in your life that you can fill that in? You can step into that instead of always thinking of the what you're going to be missing out on in terms of missing out on the foods that you are craving. So what can you fill into your life that you need for nourishment and nutrients? And to rebalance energies, so if the signaling is not communicating from the hormones that your body is producing here to your head and vice versa, and if those signals are not crossing, then again, there's a body-mind imbalance. And so what can you do to redistribute the energies and the energy centers in your body? So you could do some mindful exercises, mindful breathing exercises. You can incorporate some yoga or qigong or tai chi, or some kind of movement, even just simply walking, but doing a mindful walk. So you're breathing while you're walking. You're noticing all your senses while you're walking, because if your body is not responding appropriately to all of those signals, then it's like you're numb to them. So it is retraining, regaining access to what your body is trying to say to you. Oh, hi, Yakub. Is that how you say your name? Thank you so much. I love that you're watching from Johannesburg, South Africa. Thank you. So this is so really important. This to me, like that bigger picture is to me the foundation of it all. It's not that looking at the micro pieces aren't as valuable, because every layer is valuable. Every layer is important, and it's how they are integrated together. And it really feels good to your mind to be able to look at the various layers and see how they can be integrated. So that's why I'm taking this more like macro and big picture macro approach, so micro and macro, so that you can feel more integrated in your approach and how you address your body, mind, and spirit. Because when the body, mind, and spirit are aligned, that is health. When things are flowing through your body, mind, spirit, that is health. The health is in the flow, and the health is in the balance and integration and alignment of body, mind, and spirit. So I hope that has helped you in some way. Thank you so much for being here with me. If you have any questions on this was an overview, and of course we can go into all the details and even more. So leave a question in the comments. You can also connect with me on Instagram at All Worlds Health, on Facebook, All Worlds Health and Pediatrics, on my website, allworldshealth.com. You can sign up for my e-love letters. I send them out every week on Wednesday. And I meditate every week. I meditate every day through the appointments, through when I first thing in the morning, before I go to sleep. I mean, your life can be meditation, but I also specifically meditate every week and ask spirit, ask the stillness for some guidance of what is useful to talk about for you. And that's how I choose my topics. So whether it's a handful of people that watch or many people that watch, every time I choose my topic this way, I always hear from someone that says, "Thank you for talking about that. I really needed to hear that in that moment." So it is worthwhile for me to come here and show up every week, whether it's talking to mean something to one person, and that could be you, or to many people. So please help me spread the word, like and subscribe. And as always, thank you for being here with me. I believe in you, so I hope that you believe in you too. I'll see you next week, Wednesday, somewhere middle of the day, 11 a.m. to noonish time frame. Lots of love to you. Have a beautiful rest of your week. Take care.